Hello everyone. So today me and my friends will be explain about the tenses that we usually use during English writing. So as we all know, we have three tenses that we usually use, which is present, past, and future. So as for the present, we have simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. As for the past, we have simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Lastly, for the future, we have simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. All right, so now I will be explain a little bit further about what is simple present tense. So basically, a simple present tense is an expresses a general truth or an action event, situation or condition that is occurring habitually or in the present, now at the moment of writing or speaking. Okay, so this is the example of simple present tense. According to Self-Key website, hackers usually target the sensitive data and intellectual property in a cyber attack. Okay, so now let's take a look on the present continuous tense. First and foremost, I will be explaining what is present continuous tense. So, present continuous tense is an emphasis on the continuing nature of an event, condition, or situation. In other words, it is expressing an action which is happening in a particular time in the present or continuing over a period of present times. As you can see, I have provided some example of present continuous tense, which is some of the potential solution discussed by the researchers are implementing security measure. Not to forget, we also have present perfect tense. So, present perfect tense usually describe an action that begin in the past but still continuous into the present and has just completed in the present. So, as we can see here, I've provide um, one example, which is attacks in this sector have compromised an average of 155,000 records, and that number could be higher with reports of incidents in which more than 3 million of these medical records in 33 countries were compromised.
We also have present perfect continuous tense that used to describe an action, event, condition, or situation that has begun in the past and continues into the present. The present perfect continuous tense uses has or have plus been and the ing form of the verb. For example, if the infamous Lazarus Group actor has been targeting vulnerable version of information service, has been targeting here show that the sentence is present perfect continuous tense. And next, for past tense, we have simple past tense. Simple past tense is used to describe an action, event, and condition or situation that occurred in the past. The simple past tense use the verb plus ed. For example, is a sweeping hack of the federal judiciary's gas filling system exploited unresolved security hole discovered 5 years ago. The word exploited here shows that the sentence is simple past tense. Other than that, we also have past continuous tense. Past continuous tense is to emphasize on the continuing nature of an event, condition, or situation in the past. In other words, it is expressing an action which is happening in a particular time in the past or continuing or extending in the past. For past continuous tense, use were or was plus ing. For example, if the group has also found a document which appeared to suggest the firm was developing technology for a so-called one person. What's developing here is so that the sentence use past continuous tense.
Past perfect tense describes an action that has finished before another action that was completed in the past. Perfect tense is formed by adding had to the past participle of the main verb. For example, by the time the company had discovered that the breach had taken place, extracted data had already appeared on hacking forums. Past perfect continuous tense is used to talk about actions started in the past and continue to another point in the past. Past perfect continuous tense is formed by adding had plus been plus present participle. For example, the state agency confirmed on March 24th that it had become aware of a data security event in January of 2022, which had been ongoing for around 3 years. Future tense is used to describe actions that will happen in the future. Simple future tense is formed by adding will or shall plus a root form of the verb. For example, ransomware attacks will continue to rise in frequency and sophistication, prompting organizations to not only enhance prevention strategies, but also focus heavily on resilience and recovery.
Now, let's move on to future continuous tense. What is future continuous tense? Well, this tense expresses an action, event, condition, or situation that will be in progress in a particular time in the future. It also refers to a continuing action that will occur in the future. So, the way for us to identify future continuous tense in a sentence is by looking at the words will be followed by a verb with ing. Now, let's take a look at the example right here. That means cyber criminals will be exploiting systems tomorrow that we're designing today. In this sentence, we can see that there are the words will be followed by a verb with ing, which is exploiting. The phrase will be exploiting shows that the action of exploitation is not a one time thing, but it is an action that will be in a progress in the future. We can also take a look at the word tomorrow in this sentence. It shows that the action of exploitation will be ongoing at a specific time in the future. Next is future perfect tense. So, this tense is used to describe an action that will be completed sometime in the future before another action takes place in the future. So, the way for us to identify future perfect tense in a sentence is by looking at the words will or shall, have, followed by a verb with ed, or we can say a verb in a past participle form. Now, let's take a look at the example right here. According to the new Myra cybersecurity report, the number of malicious requests in 2024 will have increased by 25%. So in this sentence, we can see that there are the words will, have, followed by a verb in a past participle form, which is increase. So in this sentence, the first action is the increase in malicious requests. And the second action is reaching the year 2024. So the phrase will have increased shows that the first action, which is the increase of malicious requests, will already be completed by the time we reach 2024, which is the second action. That means the first action will already be completed before the second action takes place. Lastly, future perfect continuous tense. So, this tense is used to describe an action, event, condition, or situation that is continuing that will be completed at some specified time in the future. So, the way for us to identify future perfect continuous tense in a sentence is by looking at the word will or shall, have been, followed by a verb with ing. Now, let's take a look at the example. During lockdown, hackers will have been using their time wisely, honing their craft and designing even more effective ways to target businesses who might have taken their eyes off the ball. So, in this sentence, we can see that there are the words will have been followed by a verb with ing, which is using. So, the phrase will have been using shows that the action is a continuing process. during the specified future time given, which is the lockdown. And by the end of the lockdown, this action will be completed. That is all for our tenses oral presentation. Thank you.